Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. As you can see, we're doing a Revenant guide, 50 plus tips, and I just want to say a massive thank you because from all my advanced guides that you've given so much support on, we are now sponsored by EA. To think about that, from where we came from, doing like these small advanced legend guides, and now our Revenant guide we finally got sponsored on. So a massive thank you to all of you and everyone at EA. It's just given me so much opportunity. But let's just get on with this Revenant guide, 50 plus pro tips. And as always, I have one rule with this video: if you learn something, smash the like button and let me know if I did miss anything. But other than that, let's get straight on with it. So his passive is the Stalker, and this basically allows you to crouch walk faster and climb higher than other legends. So does this have any tips? How does this specifically work? So when you crouch walk, your actual speed as Revenant is the same as normal legends walking speed. The only difference is you can actually slide. No other legend can slide with this small amount of full speed. It's just Revenant, which I think is really handy. Revenant also has the quietest footsteps amongst all of the legends, or one of the quietest footsteps. A lot of legends like Bangalore, they have those chinking body armors, Pathfinder's metal legs, and Revenant does have that, but he just has it quieter, so it makes him a lot easier to lose. And right here I've got Predator players that just absolutely annihilated my friend and almost me, but I managed to sneak away, and I would 100% advise using the Midnight skin if you want to be a ninja. And the fact is, if you can become a full Revenant ninja, you become a master of controlling fights. While everyone else is running around listening for each other's footsteps, you're ninjaing about the place. People barely know where you are. You lose them 1 second, they see you another second. You can become a master of controlling fights. And just like here, I was able to just muck around with the final team. Now when it comes to climbing walls twice as high, we're doing a little fail test here so you can see the very height limit, but you can see it is very high. However, that last 10% of the climb is so slow, I would avoid using it in battles because you're essentially a sitting duck. So because you can actually climb twice as high without losing as much speed, you can climb normal legend heights 25% faster. So what a Wraith could climb over a wall, you can do that a quarter faster essentially. And this allows you to nip around buildings, nip around rocky areas a lot quicker. Say you're retreating somewhere, if you use a climbing obstacle course to retreat, you're going to be able to outclimb most other legends. And this also opens up a whole new range of areas you can get to. I wanted to point out 3 specific structures. The first one, as you can see, single towered cranes you can now climb up using the big grey box on the side. At all the train stations, you get up on one of the little ledges around the edge, the like window ledges, you can climb up the posts there. And then I call this the Thunderbird Tower, but it's the mini drill sites, those big yellow towers, and you can now climb up the side of these from the very bottom, which we were never able to do before. It's just about figuring out what you're going to be able to climb as Revenant. I might have to do a separate video on just really cool places Revenant can get to, because this map, even if you're Pathfinder, sometimes you can't get to it because there's no grapple zones all over the map. But because of this, always test out a local mountain. If you've got a circle on a nearby mountain, you might be able to find a little peak spot you can get up to like I did here, and carry your noob Corsic to the finish. He was my little buddy, I was caring for him the entire game. Now in terms of pushing with a climb, I would always advise, if you're playing as Revenant, take the unexpected paths. So say for example right here, this building, most players are only going to be watching for hearing the zip line or people coming up the stairs, but my very quiet footsteps sneaking up the edge of the building, Wraith did not even clock on, and I could just like point blank sniper in the head. Example right here, this Wraith was watching both of the entrances, but she wasn't watching the unexpected path, and that's where Revenant is going to be strongest. Now for his silence, his tactical, throw a device that deals damage and disables enemies' abilities for 10 seconds. This is one of my favourite of his abilities. It's so small, it doesn't do much, but it's so versatile. So this actually can be shot while you're healing, shooting, pretty much doing most actions. It does 10 damage. The ball itself only lasts for 6 seconds, but it does 10 damage and it lasts for 10 seconds. And what it does is it stuns the character's abilities. They can't use any of their abilities unless some of them, if you pre-cock the ability before being hit, you can still use it. But it also lights them up for that 10 seconds while their ability stuns. It puts a massive glowing effect around them and is amazing for, it's like infrared almost sometimes. At max height, you can shoot this 35 meters. At max distance, it's 70 meters. And yes, I spent way too much time figuring this all out. But now for some proper action tips. So if it's, say, a hot drop, like especially on a door, everyone's trying to cram in, straight away hit that tactical. It's just going to cause a lot of panic, cause extra damage on everyone. Say you've got a shotgun camper hiding around a corner, just use your tactical. It makes them panic. Say for instance you're pushing, you put someone down on low health, go for the Kobe. It's only 10 damage, yes, but if you get them, it's also going to stop anyone from retreating using their abilities. Say here Wraith, she could have portaled that Pathfinder out there, but she couldn't because she was completely silenced. Now, say for example, you've got your own down teammate, use your silence to cover him. It may not do anything really, but it acts as a massive visual, a massive audio distraction, and if you actually get pushed, just lead them in like a circle through your silence. You can essentially use it a bit like Bangalore smokes and Caustic's knocks gas clouds. Now, I would use this all the time when pushing on zip lines. Not only, as you can see here, I block them from really shooting out of this onto the zip line, but I've also covered the door. Covering the doors is one of my favorite things. Say for example right here, I panicked from that Peacekeeper shot, blocked the door and backed up. A blocked door with your ultimate gives you the exact amount of time you need to pop one shield cell. Could save your life, you never know, but it could also allow you to reset, stop panicking like I did just there, and get the kill nice and clean, nice and easily. It's all about controlling the fights with Revenant. Say for example here, we're pinned down by a sniper, and I don't want to take a ton of damage, so I use his tactical, his silence, a bit like Bangalore's smoke, to create visual cover, to create a massive distraction. And it only does 10 damage. Yes, they can just technically stand in it, but it's still going to be a massive distraction. Like when the silence actually hits, it creates a loud noise, and you can use this to cover your drop-in noise. Most of the time when you drop, they hear that, they turn around, they fight you. Right then, he didn't hear until I'd already shot him because my audio was covered. And I do this with pretty much anything. If you've downed a teammate and you need to push, you throw in your tactical, put it on the floor, and you're going to be able to give yourself a ton of audio cover, and by the time you push in, it's too late for them. Now you can also use it to cover your retreat. Say you've been damaged, block off one of the choke points. It's going to deter them from pushing you. And then you can also do this in reverse. Once you start pushing them, you can use it to cut off their retreat, and they can still go through it, yes, but going to do a bit of extra damage, and it's going to light them up like a Christmas tree. And that right here, I use it in a similar caustic gas method. I place it right in the middle of the room, and even though it's already done the damage to the Wraith, it makes her panic and want to get out of that area, because at the moment, all of these tacticals are just making people panic. Right here, this Wraith, she pretty much had the drop on me, but I made her miss every shot because that tactical completely just, it caused a bunch of chaos, distracted her. Only real Revenant players are going to be used to this. Now, if you combine his passive and tactical, you can become the best in plain sight ninja. This is one of my new favorite moves, just to muck around with people, because it is so much fun and it makes you feel like you're in so much control of the fights. You can use your fast crouch walking speed to ninja around the ball. You have your audio up high so you can hear their footsteps, but it's just so much fun. Now, moving on to the Death Totem. This is to drop a totem that protects those who use it from death for a set amount of time. Instead of being killed or downed, you teleport back to the totem. So you can become a shadow for 30 seconds, similar to the nightmare mode we had. and your health is what gets damaged when you're shot, not your shield. That can be a little bit confusing to new Revenant players. Well, once your health has been fully drained, you'll be spawned back at the Death Totem with 1 HP, and for this, I highly recommend Revenants carry medkits. Nothing worse than having to use a syringe. Now, there is no vertical limit to how, like, this Death Totem, but there is a 60-meter horizontal limit. If you go outside of that line, you'll despawn from being a zombie. Well, not a zombie, a shadow. My apologies. But be careful not to trap yourself. This Death Totem does have a physical body, and you can't destroy it. Only enemies can destroy it, so you can actually end up trapping yourself until it despawns. And these Death Totems have 100 HP, so when you get spawned back at your Death Totem, use it as a bit of a shield. It could save your life while you're healing. Now, when you're actually attacking shadows, keep note that their orange ball lets you know where their Death Totem is, like a light ray, similar to how you see people go through Wraith's portal. And this allows you, like, you can actually access other people's Death Totems. Not everyone knows this, but anyone can use anyone's Death Totem, and the little glowing orange ball shows you exactly where they're going to respawn back in. So if your teammate's fine, you can just wait and pick them off. Now, the ultimate can actually vanish sometimes if you place it on dodgy areas. Be very careful with that, and just be notiful of where you place it. This is a bit of a warning section, because right here, if you place it on high up areas inside a building, you can accidentally take damage from above the building, and it can teleport you above the building. It's very glitchy at the moment, especially on trains. If you use it on the train, it can teleport you randomly around the map, like just boom, click randomly everywhere. Like right here, I spawned off of the map. Yes, it was technically an inbounds section, but I died. I couldn't get out of that. Right here, I teleported, but I stayed on the train, and my partner spawned in the middle of the circle halfway across the map, and she ended up actually quitting because she was like, what the hell just happened? But moving on to the actual action tips. So if you've got a bunch of like newer players on your game, in your squad, this gives a big motivation for newer players to rush. A lot of newer players are apprehensive. They're very slow at looting, and they don't want to get into fights because they're scared they're going to die straight away. But if you give them a second life, it's going to give people motivation just to rush in and have that big fun impact that we imagine from video games. Now, use this to push on zip lines as well. There's nothing worse than going across a zip line, suddenly you're getting completely rinsed and killed. If you want a bit of safety, use your shadow form and go across the zip line, because if they shoot you off, you're just going to teleport back there and heal up. But if they try and push you, your turn to shoot them off the zip line. And this works for balloons as well. Say you're running from a squad, an emergency escape, you're not sure how good they are. Some people pick you off zip lines like it's nothing. So use your shadow. If you manage to escape, you cancel the shadow, you escape. Whoopie-doo. If you get shot down, you spawn, teleport, and you can run off again. Now, in terms of using this to attack, I would 100%, if they have high defenses, prioritize the defenses when you first attack in shadow form. This allows you to regroup afterwards when they're waiting for it all to recharge again. This also allows you to keep your hiding spots. So say for instance, right there, I was on top of the building, but I was also on top of a pole. It allows you to keep that high ground. This is a perfect example of it. I've actually got a Wraith below the ship, and I'm on the ship, and I didn't want to give up my high ground, but I was like, I need to assess who's down there. I don't know how many players are down there. I don't know their skill level. Do I need to push? And because I found out by assessing the situation with my ultimate, I found out it was a Wraith, so she could portal. She can go invisible. I needed to push. There was no way I was going to win. So I managed to go for the push, and because I'd assessed the situation, I was able to pull it back and get the win. Now, Revenant is also a top tier banner recovery expert. He is one of my favorites, obviously because of the second life. Even if you see enemies, it doesn't matter. You can just charge straight in there, kill yourself, let them kill you. You're just going to teleport back and everything's happy days. In terms of happy days, I'm honestly going to say this is one of the funnest ultimates, because I know I've said it a few times, but that second life it just gives you so much opportunity to try things, to do new things. Right here, I'm just having a bunch of fun, and even though my kind of newer player Bloodhound killed himself in the storm, I was still able to go in for a punch kill because of that second life ability. If you combine his ultimate with roofs, like jump tower onto a roof, use his ultimate, it is a meta and it is so much fun. Like, it is one of the perfect ways to recover teammates' banners because you're gone by the time they realize what's happened. You can use it to loot in high, like very busy areas. Say you're in the city, there's entire squads fighting down there, you need some ammo or something. Use your ultimate on top of the building, jump down, boom. Even if they shoot you, you're going to teleport back up. The fact is, this just gives you a massive carefree action, because even if you spawn back on the roof, no one can get to you there, so you're safe to heal, and it's just that safe feeling of being able to go in carefree. I wanted to point out a few particular buildings to place it on, because this one allows you to get in safely to the predator buildings, and this is what I mean. Even if you spawn back up on top, I've got an extra 20 seconds of out of bounds time so that I can heal up, assess the situation, act as a UAV for my teammates, because a lot of teammates don't realise I'm doing this as Revenant yet, and they keep just diving straight to the ground and getting themselves killed. It's kind of quite annoying, I'm not going to lie. But the second building I wanted to point out is the middle one, the two that have clashed together. If you actually run up to this one, you can, I'm pretty sure they've done this on purpose because there's a massive ramp at the end, but you can get, it's a brilliant escape route and you can just slide completely out of Capital City. But moving on to Revenant Secrets, that's it for his abilities. As I said, if you learned anything, smash the like button. So, Revenant's Secrets, he has a few secret animations. One of them is in the loading lobby. Once in a blue moon, he'll just randomly charge at you, and if you're falling asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's gonna make you jump, I'll tell you that much. But he'll respawn a few seconds later, pop his shoulder back in, and you're good to go. But he has actual secret animations. When he summons his ultimate, he has two default like animations. He has like an up raised hand motion, then a down raised hand motion. But he has two specials. One is he shoves his fingers in the eyes of the metal skull that is part of his ultimate. And then the second one is like the Naruto, the ninja moves. I can't do it, I'm just doing this, but yeah, he does these cool little secret moves. I thought I'd add in his stationary movement simply because part of his lore, part of his story, he's this very much demon character, and you see him like praying to whoever he's praying to, probably himself, but he also uses one hand to shoot and he shows off with the other. I thought that was really funny, kind of a bit cocky, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, if you learned anything, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know if I missed anything, let me know what you thought, how it could improve, and other than that, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all later. Adios!